Thank you, Lord. Let's just sing. Thank you, Lord. Give it from the inside. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. We thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. I just want to thank you, Lord. Sometimes it doesn't seem as if that's enough. For all that God does and all that God is, that all we can do is say thank you. That lets us know that we must humble ourselves and recognize from whence does our help come. Our help comes from the Lord, maker of heaven and earth. Well, here we are on this last Sunday of August. I can't believe it, amen. The last Sunday of August, and we are here in this place together. And all summer we have been sharing with you from the summer theme of Summer Classics, where we looked at some of the great stories of the Bible that many know and that many do not know. There are those across denominational lines who are dealing with these issues in this postmodern world. What is the issue? The issue is that there are certain assumptions that can be made, that could be made about churches 50 or 100 years ago. You could make the assumption that everyone that you spoke to on a Sunday morning knew the story of David and Goliath. You could make the assumption that everyone who you were speaking to had heard the story of Samson and Delilah. But yet, in this postmodern world of the year 2016, there's a reality that we must return from whence we have come. We must continue to share the stories of the Bible as we let people know, young people and old people, middle-aged folks, about some of the great stories of our time. Well, today, if you turn with me to the book of Joshua, chapter 10, this will be our final sermon from our subject of Summer Classics. It is absolutely one of my favorites. Joshua chapter 10, I'll begin reading at verse 1, and it reads as follows. Now it came about when Adonizedek, king of Jerusalem, heard that Joshua had captured Ai, and had utterly destroyed it, just as he had done to Jericho and its king, so he had done to Ai and its king, and that the inhabitants of Gibeon had made peace with Israel, and were within their land. That he feared greatly, because Gibeon was a great city, like one of the royal cities, and because it was greater than Ai, and all its men were mighty. Therefore Adonizedek, king of Jerusalem, sent word to Hoham, king of Hebron, and Piram, king of Jarmuth, and to Japhia, king of Lachish, and to Deborah, king of Eglon, saying, Come up to me and help me, and let us attack Gibeon, for it has made peace with Joshua and with the sons of Israel. So the 5 kings of the Amorites, the king of Jerusalem, the king of Hebron, the king of Jarmuth, the king of Lachish, and the king of Eglon, gathered together and went up, they with all their armies, and camped by Gibeon and fought against it. Verse 6. Then the men of Gibeon sent word to Joshua to the camp at Gilgal, saying, Do not abandon your servants. Come up to us quickly, and save us and help us. For all the kings of the Amorites that live in the hill country have assembled against us. So Joshua went up from Gilgal, he and all the people of war with him, and all the valiant warriors. The Lord said to Joshua, Do not fear them, for I have given them into your hands. Not one of them shall stand before you. So Joshua came upon them suddenly by marching all night from Gilgal, and the Lord confounded them before Israel, and he slew them with a great slaughter at Gibeon, and pursued them by the way of the ascent of Beth-horon, and struck them as far as Azekah and Makkedah, as they fled from before Israel while they were at the descent of Beth-horon. The Lord threw large stones from heaven upon them as far as Azekah, and they died. There were more who died from the hailstones than those whom the sons of Israel killed with the sword. Then Joshua spoke to the Lord in the day when the Lord delivered up the Amorites before the sons of Israel. And he said in the sight of Israel, O sun, stand still at Gibeon, and O moon in the valley of Ajalon. So the sun stood still, hallelujah, and the moon stopped until the nation avenged themselves of their enemies. Is it not written in the book of Joshua? And the sun stopped in the middle of the sky and did not hasten to go down for about a whole day. There was no day like that before it or after it, when the Lord listened to the voice of a man, for the Lord fought for Israel. And the Lord has blessed his word. For the next few moments, friends, I will share with you from the subject, the day the sun stood still. The day the sun stood still. I must say this before I begin. Don't worry about babies, all right? All right. See, don't worry about babies. And I know, see, from time to time we do have a nursery, but it's hard to do a nursery and children's church at the same time, amen? But see, folks say, well, I don't want to have the baby in church. Let me say this. I've said it before, I'll say it again. If you don't like babies in church, then you must think you're going to live on this earth forever. See, because the reality is that those babies that come, and those babies that sit while we sing, it's not a coincidence that they know the hymns before other folks know the hymns. It's not a coincidence that they understand some of the scriptures before some other folks understand the scriptures. It's because someone took them into the church. And they sat there and they cried a little bit, but that's all right. See, because when the baby cries, that just makes me go harder, amen? See, because that lets me know that there is yet work to do. Now that that's out of the way. Day the earth, the sun stood still. I love the Bible for a number of reasons. One of the most important reasons I love the Bible is because it is chock full. It is packed to the hilt with miracles. You know what a miracle is? An event that is inexplainable according to natural or scientific law. And you can go from Genesis to Revelations and you can realize that there are miracles abounding in the scriptures. Even the fact that it begins in Genesis, that all of a sudden out of nothing comes the best garden that we've ever seen. Out of nothing, God speaks a word, and as God speaks a word, we are witness to the fish in the sea. We are witness to the birds of the air. We are witness to the trees in the garden. We are witness to the making, the creation of the first man. We watch with bated breath as God puts them to sleep and pulls out the rib so that a woman can be formed. We are witness to miracles from the very beginning. We were there, even though not in physical part. We were there as we read the pages of the Bible when the Red Sea split in two and men and women and boys and girls and animals walked through on dry ground. We were there when fire came from heaven crashing at Mount Carmel as it burnt up the sacrifice that Elijah had placed there. We were there when Jesus was walking on the water. Anyone who really likes to read realizes that when you read a book, you get lost in the pages. It's almost as if you are in the story yourself. We were there when a man was raised from the dead and Jesus and Lazarus come forth. We were there when Daniel was in the lion's den and all of a sudden the mouths closed. We were there, Sister Jody, when Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego were in the fiery furnace, and all of a sudden, we were there, Sister Janie, when the soldier looked in and said, I don't see 3 folks, I see 4. We were there. We've been able to look at miracles time and time again, unless we think that we are dispensationalists. Oh, that's just a big word that says there are some folks that believe that God isn't doing miracles anymore. There are some people that think that miracles stopped when the canon was written, but I believe there's 1 or 2 of us here today that can look back over the course of our lives and we can put into place a miracle that has taken place. We can look back over our human existence and we can mark the occurrences, and we can mark the obstacles, and we can mark the situations that we have overcome, the situations that we have survived, the situations that we have conquered. I believe there are 1 or 2 of us here today maybe 3 or 4, maybe 5 and 6, who can look back over our lives and we can see how we made it over, and all around us are the footprints of God. We would like to believe. We would like to believe that everything that we've achieved, everything that we've acquired, everything that we are is simply because we are so special. We would like to believe that our superior intellect and our hard work ethic has caused us to be in this blessed position. We would like to believe that it is all that writes the story, that this is all that there is, but the reality is, Deacon White, is that even in the midst of the intellect, there's someone who gave you the intellect. Even in the midst of the hard work, there's someone who gives strength to your limbs. There is someone who gives blood in your veins. There is someone who causes food to grow. There is someone who gives you air to breathe. We would like to think that all of these things are just for us, but the reality is, Brother Stafford, that miracles happen every single day. Charles Spurgeon said it this way: how he did it is not the question for us. It is not ours to try to soften miracles, but to glorify God for them. Yes. See, everything isn't going to be able to be described or explained according to human intellect. See, you can try to tell somebody some things, and the reality is they won't be able to put it together. But see, you might just say it this way: one day I was on my sick bed, and the next day I was up, and the doctor doesn't know how it happened. One day I found myself going this way, but all of a sudden now I'm on my way this way, and they say, how did you do it? I don't know, but the God of all creation is the God who is able to do all that I need him to do. He's more than enough. This God that we serve. I remember this little small woman who died in 1976. Her name was Catherine Kuhlman, and you may know her, and I talked about her in Bible study before, and I love the fact that here she was, this small woman, and she had the nerve, the gumption to say, and to even write a book that said, I believed in miracles. The question is, do we believe in miracles? Or have we become so disillusioned, so hard, that we have come to grips and we have made the definition of what God can and can't do? Here in the text, we meet Joshua again. I saved this one for last, Sister Karen, because I knew I wanted to preach this one right here because it's one of my favorite stories of the Bible. And see, everyone stops talking about Joshua after the walls of Jericho come tumbling down. But see, when the walls of Jericho come tumbling down, that's just the beginning of the story. See, we've known Joshua for a while. You first met Joshua in Numbers. Don't you remember when he and his friend Caleb, they were over and they were sent over to spy into the promised land. And when they came back, they were the only two who had a positive report that said the land is good for us to take. God has given us what we need. See, that tells me something right now, Sister Erica, in my life, that it's good to have 3, 4, 5 friends, but all I really need is one good friend. See, watch out when everybody wants to be around you all the time. You know, they say it now, keep your circle small, right? This idea to say, watch out. What did Drake say? No new friends. This idea of, see, that was for my young people. I gotta make sure they know that I'm still in the game, all right? I'm still in the game. So it's this idea that Joshua and Caleb, his one friend, came back with a positive report that yes, we can do that. We remember Joshua at all the times of the scriptures. We met him as a skilled warrior. We saw him as a loyal servant. And now we see him as the chosen of God who has led Israel to inhabit the promised land. And here in the beginning of chapter 10, we are witness to the southern campaign that they are now into Canaan. Where you see in Deuteronomy chapter 20 and verse 10, God had given extra directions about what they ought to do when they get into the promised land. See, it was clear that they had to destroy all the Canaanite cities, all the Canaanite kings within Canaan. Yet, God said, for everyone that's outside of Canaan, this is what I want you to do when you approach them. Provide them an opportunity for terms of peace. Provide them opportunity for relationship, for pacts. See, people believe that God had just sent them over there to kill everybody. That is not the truth at all. God gave them perfectly clear instructions that said, give them an opportunity to have a peaceful resolution. I believe that there's many people in our country right now that need to read Deuteronomy chapter 20 and verse 10 again. For they believe that everything is settled with war. Everything is settled with arms. Everything is settled with killing of innocents. Everything is settled in those ways. And that's why folks went crazy when the president who is in office right now decided to be in a peaceful accord with Iran. There's some folks that want war all the time, but yet they are not the ones going to fight. God said, I want you to offer them peaceful terms. And so Gibeon was smart. The king of Gibeon realized that he looked from afar and he said, if these people, these Israelites, were able to take over Jericho, then resistance is futile. What I will do is I will make a peace with them. I will make a peace with them so that they will be our ally. But as I just said, Sister Nikki, there are some who don't want peace. There are some who always want war. There are some who always want discord. You probably know some folks like that in your own lives, and maybe in our families, or maybe some of our friends, or maybe our co-workers. You ever had that co-worker that always wants a problem? They always worried about what you're doing. The manager walks by and they all of a sudden say, I got here at 8 o'clock today. What time did you get here? See, they want a problem. That's how you start problems. There are some who are in that situation, and so here, this southern campaign, there were some who did not like the peace, and they did not like the peace. Look at the text in verse 1. Now it came about with Adonizedek, this king of Jerusalem, when he realized that they had made a pact with Gibeon. Look at verse 2. He feared greatly. Everyone say fear. Fear. See, we must understand that fear is not from God. Fear, this fear, this scared fear. See, when it says fear the Lord, that says give you a healthy respect for God. Yes. See, there are some people that have to understand the difference. When you see in the scriptures where it says fear the Lord your God, that doesn't say be scared of God. That says recognize who God is. Amen. See, fear, this emotion, this emotion that causes belief that someone or something is dangerous and likely to cause me pain or even a threat. When we subside and give in to fear, rarely do good decisions come from it. You remember there are some who are of a certain age that when you are fearful, then all of a sudden you make up different realities. What isn't real and you make believe is real. The king did it right here. He said, if they are at peace with Gibeon, then that will mean that then eventually they will come for me. I'm scared. And when we are scared, we do things that we ought not to do. When we're scared that we're going to spend the rest of our lives alone, we go for the first man or woman that comes down the street. When we're scared that we're not sure what will take place in our lives, we do different things. When we're scared about all these different things, we end up making poor decisions. But in 2 Timothy chapter 1, it reminds us that God has not given us a spirit of fear, but he's given us a spirit of power, of love, a sound mind, and self-control. Perfect love casts out fear. We do not stand in fear. We stand with hope because God is with us. Yes. The king of Jerusalem was scared. He made a poor decision. He says, I am going to go and attack Gibeon. And so he called some other folks together so that they can attack Gibeon together. See, that's why you have movies like Mean Girls. Anyone ever seen that Mean Girls? See, this will help some of y'all folks that are in spaces and you wonder why some folks don't like you. Or you wonder why they try to be mean towards you. Or you wonder why they try to make things difficult for you. It's because they're scared that they aren't enough in their own selves. They want you to feel a certain way. That's why they find some other weak people to come and team up on you, and they are hoping that it causes you to break. But I came to tell you just for a moment that it doesn't matter if 1, 2, 5, 7, 15 come against you. If God is with you, if God is for you, then he's more than the world against you. There will be some who try to talk about you on the internet. They try to bully you on social media. They try to say things around your back. Well, that is fine. Say what you will. But as long as God is by my side, I will not fear nor will I be concerned. Because the God of all creation has already told me that you don't have to worry about them. Stand still. Everybody say stand still. See, there's some of us that have to perfect this understanding of just standing still. Every situation does not require a response from us. Every situation does not require us to get involved. Because God says if you just stand still, you will behold the glory of the Lord. Here these weak kings come trying to get at the king of Gibeon because he was sensible enough to make peace with Israel. And so then they send out, and you can read the text when you go back home, but they send out word as they come to attack Gibeon. And the Gibeon said, Joshua, come and help us. You made a pact of peace with us. You said you would support us. And now that enemy is at our doorstep, we need you to come and help us. Yes. They were holding fast that Israel would honor their word. See, there's one thing about making promises. And you got to be careful about who and what you make promises about and to. Yes. For you see, if you are going to say, I promise, then you are saying that regardless of the situation that may come up. See, this is the most important thing. When you make a promise, it's not about the current conditions. It's about what may happen in the future. See, everyone likes to make promises when everything right now is going well. It's easy to make a promise at that time. But see, you make promises based on what may come. Joshua had made a promise to the Gibeonites that said, we will support you. And now that war is there, they had to honor their word. Watch out for folks around you that always making empty promises about what they will and won't do, about what they can and can't do. But when the high water comes and all of a sudden the rubber meets the road, we will find out, Brother Will, just how much they plan on following through with the promise. Joshua could have stayed behind, but Joshua decided, I'm going to go and I'm going to help. Now, it looks on the surface, Sister Willamette, it looks on the surface as if Joshua had gotten into a situation that was going to be difficult. For you see, there were 5 kings of the Amorites who had come to attack the Gibeonites, and all you have is Israel and Gibeon. And so they walk from Gilgal all night long. And you can imagine, can you not? If some who've been in the service and some who have not, you can imagine as he looks at the odds in front of him, as he goes and realizes, I've been fighting all this time. But look at what happens in verse 8. As he seeks to honor his word and follow through on the promise that he made, the Lord said to Joshua, everyone say the Lord said. See, don't always be concerned with other folks say, just concern ourselves with what the Lord has said. The Lord said, do not fear them, for I have given them into your hands. Can you imagine the pep in his step after the Lord sends that word? Can you imagine the pep in his step, the energy in his limbs as he realizes that God has said that you will already win? Oh, picture it right now. Picture him as the pace picks up. He was walking before, but now he's running. And the text says that as they get on their way to Gibeon, it says they marched all night long. And as they march all night long, and as they pick up the speed, and as they go with the war cry, they go into battle knowing that God has already said, you will win. Oh, that's enough if I want to shut it down right now. That's enough for us here right now, for men and women, boys and girls. If Jesus Christ is your Lord, and if the crimson blood of Jesus runs warm in your veins, I tell you that we win. Oh, I know the scriptures. It says, weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. Why does joy come in the morning? Because we win. It may seem like we're going to lose. It may seem like all is going to hell. But I tell you right now, we win. There's some folks that need to hear that tonight, or this afternoon, or morning, or whatever time it is. I just know it's preaching time. So we see in this situation that as they picked up the speed and as they get into Gibeon and as they begin to fight, they realize that the Lord is on their side. He marches all night and he goes into battle. And we are now witness to two of the greatest miracles that the world has ever known. See, they thought that they were just going with spear and sword, with shield and with men. But God had told them, don't worry, I'm going to fight with you. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Sister Laura, as they begin to engage the enemy and hold fast to the truce that they had made with Gibeon, all of a sudden hail comes from the sky. And I'm not talking about the hail that they talk about on the Weather Channel. The Weather Channel's never seen any hail like this. I mean the hail that all of a sudden starts killing folks. God started sending out hail. Boom, boom. And look what the text says. Hail killed more of the enemy than Israel killed of the enemy. Didn't God say I was going to fight for you? Didn't he say I was going to take care of the situation? All I want you to do is be strong and courageous. Oh, hallelujah. One or two of us need to hear this today, that God has already spoken about our situation. Whatever the situation is that you believe that you're dealing with right now, God has already said something about it. And he has already said, if you just stand still, I will fight for you. I will bless you. I will strengthen you. I will give you the victory in all situations because I am the Lord your God. I am the Lord your God. I said, I bless you in the midst. See, I tell you right now, that I got a friend of mine, Dr. Emery Berry, and Emery is leaving the 4th Baptist, I guess 2nd, is one of the 3rd Baptist Church of Richmond. It's one of my getting confused. So Emery's a great guy. And he and his wife, she's a marriage therapist. They wrote a book together called Marriage That Matters. And great book. So Emery called me the other night and he says, Houston, he said, I'm about to leave and I'm going to take a church down in Decatur, Georgia. And he said, I'm not sure, but I believe that the Lord has opened this door for me. He said, what do you think? I said, well, it don't really matter what I think. Go ahead. Talk about it. If the Lord has led you to it, he'll see you through. Because he's the Lord, your God. He's brought you to a space. That's why I don't be concerned. Folks say, well, Pastor, you know what? We want more members and we want to continue to grow and all those type of things. And folks ask me, how are things going? I say, well, things are going great. Because the Lord, when he calls you, he's already made provision for you. So therefore, I have great expectations about the days to come with this little church. Because I believe believe that the Lord, when he leads us to it, he'll see us through. See, the reality is he's continued to see us over these many years, right? He's continued to bless us over these many years. And so God has decided that I am going to bless in ways that you're not even sure how I can bless, but yet I can still do it. So all I can say to you, my brothers and my sisters, is when the folks start coming and we don't have any more space, you just move over to the side so that they can get a seat. And if they can't get a seat, that's all right. We'll put them in the choir loft. And if they can't get in the choir loft, then folks can stand up for a while. That's all right. Because I tell you, God will send who God wants to send. And when God is the one who sends them, then you know that you're in a blessed situation. So as the hail comes from the sky, and I'm about through, we are now able to witness that Joshua sees that the odds are in my favor. We're winning this battle against 5 different kings. Yes. So God, I've seen you do some amazing things. What did Ty Tribbett say? If he did it before, he can do it again. Same God right now. Same God back then. So he takes a chance, Deacon Smith. He takes a chance and says, well, maybe now is the time that I can end this situation. Maybe now is the time that we can put this to end once and for all. So God, I want you to do something that's never been done before. God, if you will, just let the sun stand still. Some of us have prayed that prayer while we at the beach. I just wish it would stay light a little more longer. There's some of us that are praying it right now. Daylight savings time is around the corner. I just want the sun to stay out just a little while longer. Joshua takes a chance and he says, God, will you let the sun stand still and hold the moon off for a little while, for we are finishing the work that you have given us to do. And the amazing thing, Deacon Parks, the amazing thing, Deacon White, is now we are witness in the text to the sun staying in the same spot that it was in. I tell you, right now, God can work miracles. God can do things that we can't even imagine. The sun stayed still. And Joshua was able to finish the work that he was sent to do. He was able to finish the task and defeat the Amorites and uphold his promise to the Gibeonites. God was able to do exactly what he said he would do. Let me say this thing and I'm through. There are some of us are in situations. Some of us are in situations and we're hesitant to ask God for certain things because we're not sure about whether or not God can actually do it. But see, I tell you right now, I want us to do something that the old folks used to say, try God. See, you may not have all the theological understanding that some folks want you to know or some folks pretend you have. You ever meet anybody that tries to get real deep? I mean, they try to get deep all the time. We could just be talking about anything and they want to see something deep. We talking about the basketball game. Well, that is a situation that takes place from the... come on. But even if you don't know too much, you can still know the theological understanding that the folks said, try God. Joshua was able to say, God, I'm going to go out on a limb. Can you cause the sun to stand still? And God said, I got a surprise for you. I can still do it because I'm the one that created it. Oh, I tell you, that's the situation. So my brother, my sister, as we leave here today, God may not cause the sun to stand still for you. Because the text said that there has never been a day like that before, and there won't be one again. But even if you can't ask God to let the sun stand still, I want you to try him about some other matters. I want you to say, God, will you heal my body? God, will you give me a way out of this situation I am? God, will you bless me with a job? God, will you give me what I need to make it through? God,
Will you bless the church? God, will you give me happiness in the midst of sadness? God, can you give me peace in the midst of the storm? I tell you right now, try God.
Yes. 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 Try God. Hallelujah.
I've tried.
Yes.
And I found out that the moments,
Yes.
even in those moments you don't want to talk about. Oh yeah, I know too much about that. You know those times when you're mad at God. He said, that's all right. Be mad for a while. But I'm still going to be standing right here when you come back to me. And the best part is, I'm not going to hold it against you. I'm going to receive you like they're my own. I'm going to bless you. I'm going to forgive you. I'm going to love you. Because I am the Lord, your God. Isn't that a good thing? Yes. To know that He's the Lord, our God. God is in the miracle business. If you've never received Jesus Christ as your personal Savior, I invite you to come. I invite you to come. Oh, that's good, that's good. That's Cam right there. Cam, tell him to come, Cam. That's it. That's all you know. He's just helping us pass now. He's telling them, come on, pass it up, say it. Let us stand up. You see, he knew. You see, he's not crying anymore. He said, y'all come on. Let us stand together. If you don't know Jesus Christ as your personal Savior, I invite you to come. I invite you to come because Jesus is the same yesterday, today, and forever. If you want to be a member of a good church, this is a good place to be. The Lord is still working in the miracle business. And we got some folks that can testify to it. That He can make a way out of nowhere. That He can heal you and raise you up. That He can right your mind when you might go crazy. We got some folks, 1 or 2, 3 or 4, 5 or 6, that can speak about, once I was lost, but now I'm found, was blind, but now I see. If you want someone to pray with you, I invite you to come. The doors of the church are open. Let whoever come, let them come.